Warning Army, we are here and we are here to talk about it. Fair warning, I definitely know that I'm going to get a little personal in this video. It was a night to remember, and I will remember that evening for the rest of my life. Last night, it felt different. It felt like I took my relationship with the Warning to like the next level. Like I feel like I knew them, but then I saw them in person and everything has changed since then. As you guys can see, I got my Warning swag. It is a little big on me, but that's okay. It's still black. There are so many things to talk about from last night, and I want to make sure that I hit every single thing that I thought of. Before we get into this deep dive about the Warning and this experience, I gotta give a shout out to everybody in the Foxtrot family who stopped by and said hello. You guys are all so amazing. Angel, Jessica, Matt, Teresa, Bob, Jesse, I know I'm forgetting people. Thank you all so much. Like I said, last night felt like the start of something, and next time that the Warning come to town, I'm definitely going to be putting something together where we could try to get together and meet before the show, so that way we can get together and actually have a little bit more time to interact instead of trying to like push people through lines and whatnot to try to actually get and be able to have a few words with one another. But shout out to each and every one of you guys. You guys made the show that much more better for me. And last night I found my next favorite band with Holy Wars. I'm not gonna lie, I did not have any clue of who was gonna be the opener for the band until I got to the venue and saw the name on the door. I was going in completely blind and they blew me away and I became an instant fan, and I'll do a whole separate video on talking about how much I loved that experience. All right, so let's paint the scene. There I was in my spot on Danny's side of the stage. It's not where I picked to be, but it's where I kind of chose to be. I try to never have an expectation of where I'm going to stand going into a concert because I feel like it's always let me down when I've tried to already have a picture in my mind of where I'm going to be. So I try to leave that open and I feel like I get a better experience that way. So I'm in there and I am ready and I am sweating my ass off. I pull my hair up like 5 minutes into the first band set because I'm just sweating the entire time because we are packed in there, sold out show, and it was hot as fuck. I was telling Matt next to me that I feel like for the first time in my life, I actually had been starstruck. The Warning hadn't even come out yet, but like the energy and the excitement like that I was feeling just waiting to see them with my own eyes. I've never actually had this experience before. And when they walked out onto that stage, the only thing that I can think of to explain it, guys, was that I was mesmerized. Throughout the entire set, there was a word that came to mind for each one of the ladies in the Warning. Let's start with my girl, Ale, who is the actual hardest one to get a good picture of. Only because that girl does not stop moving and you can never get a really good still shot of her because she is in constant motion the entire show. The word that came to mind when I thought of Ale was she was radiant in every form of the word. And when she had her moment to sing her one little part in the entire show where she got to do the vocals and it was just, everybody was dropped out and it was just her, you best believe that people lost their minds and went crazy to show the support like, yo girl, just the way y'all do in the comments. They were like, yo, we love it when you do this. When I think of POW and everything that I took away from that experience, I think the word that comes to mind the easiest and the fastest was that girl is fierce. Because this was the second show in this run, I feel like there's still a little tweaking that needs to be done to POW's mic, but she did sound fantastic, and I feel like it should have just been maybe a little bit louder, especially during Sharks and especially during Narcissista when she is the one who is singing the entire time. There was a little bit of a mixed reaction when Narcissista was played because it was in Spanish, but those who knew the words were definitely singing along, and I was jamming the hell out because I love that song. POW stayed behind the kit, so there's no like big surprise that she comes out in the front and like really rocks the stage, anything like that. She holds the throne the way that she should, and she killed it the way that she does every time that she sings from behind the drum kit, and it was just an amazing experience just to watch that live. Like I said, she is fierce and a stone cold killer, and she is just the ultra professional, keeping like just everything that I saw in Teatro was like next level at this show. Every little thing in Teatro that could be like a little bit criticized was nowhere to be found at all in this performance. This band gives you your money's worth when you come to see them play. Now let's talk about Danny. Danny Face is on like 1,000 now. There is, like I said, every little criticism that I might have said about this band, about any of these ladies, was zero and nowhere to be found this entire show. Danny Face 1000% on point in every song at every moment. The best word to describe what I saw from Danny that night was that she was breathtaking. She played and sung every song even better than I could have even imagined. Those guitar riffs sound even better in person. It's really hard to like really put into words the feeling that those riffs just send through your soul when you hear them just ringing in an environment like that. I'm getting like the shivers just like thinking about going back. You know how like when you were a kid and you really wanted to go somewhere and you were so amped up for it, and as soon as you left, you're like, I cannot wait to come back? That is how I felt leaving the Warning show. All I could think about was, I literally cannot wait till next time. I started thinking about, are they going to stop somewhere again close enough that isn't sold out already that I could go see this again? Now I really understand why you guys said that I've seen them 7, 10 times since I started seeing them 2 years ago. This is a band that when they come and make a stop, I will be there every single time. And like I said, next time we're going to have a meet and greet. I had thought and planned to do some video ideas and some interviews at the show last night, but I decided to not do that because I really didn't want to take away from my first experience. I really wanted it to be all about just experiencing it the way that everybody else does. I didn't want to have any kind of distractions away from that. Next time they come around, we are going to be doing it a lot bigger and better. Because trust me, that show is going to be bigger and better. I don't think that we're going to see them in the same spot. I made a comment about like bigger stages and bigger production when it comes to the Warning and what they're going to do in the future. And I want to clarify that what I saw last night was like nothing of like some incredible production value. There wasn't a lot of extra things going on in terms of distractions. And that's exactly what I meant when I don't need smoke. All I need is for you to do what you do with a little backdrop. You can change some lights every once in a while and just rock out the way that you did. And that's all we want from you. And we don't need you to change much more than that. Smoke is cool and all that for people who need it, but the Warning doesn't need all the extras. I was completely blown away by everything that I saw from each one of them the entire time. Just the utter level of professionalism and attention to detail when it comes to their craft and making those live experiences the best that they can be. You can tell that they put a lot of time and effort into making this a great show, and it's exactly that. I caught a couple of times where sisters were checking and smiling at each other. Love to see that. There was even a moment in the show where we had to stop for a second because I think that somebody might have fell on the ground. It seemed like everything was okay. We got a lot of thumbs up really quickly, and it seemed like that group like really took care of that individual. I hope everything was okay. It seemed like everything was going on all right. But they even stopped the song to restart it over. And Danny like even mentioned like that safety was the most important thing. And it was genuine. They stopped so fast. Like it was like on the count of like 1, 2, 3, and they all stopped. Like it was just kind of crazy how quickly it stopped. And you can see the real person behind the performer in that moment. We even got that moment of seeing the band at their truest, most purest selves. I did have one slight disappointment. For some reason, 6 Feet Deep was not on the set list. And I was really ready to go off on that. And the other little bit of a letdown that I had, but not too much of a letdown, was we were not able to get the pit going on Apologize because Apologize didn't get played. So we still have time to get that idea going. Apologize not making the set list didn't really surprise me that much, but the fact that they didn't play 6 Feet Deep really surprised me because that was like a music video and it just seemed kind of odd that it wasn't in the set list. Other than that, every song they played, I was super stoked for. And yes, the gringo is going to double down again when he has no business talking about Mexican culture. So the fact that they played 2 Spanish songs, actually, I take that back. They played 3 Spanish songs last night. They played all 3 of the Spanish Jones. If there's another one, I haven't got to that one yet. But the 3 that I have heard, they played all 3 of them last night. So yet again, how could you say? How could you say? I get it. The Warning are over it, and they've already said what they have to say about this. But I'm new to the club, and I am new to the Warning army, so I'm going to go over here and start some fights with some people who want to keep talking shit about these girls because I don't like it. That's some bullshit. That shit generally bothers me that they call them that, and the fact that like every Narcissistic video, somebody feels the need to come and still spread that hatred. Like it's their job to go out there and just keep saying, hey, they should be ashamed of themselves. Like, fuck that guy. All right, I'll get off it. One of you guys had commented a couple weeks ago and told me that it seemed like I was just in a better overall headspace in my life as of my recent videos. And again, if you've watched my WTF Johnny Foxtrot video, then you know my history with depression and how that affects my life every day. I didn't start this channel to be a tell-all about my depression, but it is relative to this story. Anybody that suffers from chronic depression knows that it's a lot like the way that the weather changes in the season. That sometimes you just know when it's coming and you just can feel it coming and you know that that season is about to come into your world and you're about to be depressed for a while. And when I read that comment about how it seemed like I was doing better, it made me smile because I was in the middle of like probably one of like the hardest times that I've had in a while. I say all that to say, guys, that you guys make it that much easier for me to actually put a real smile on my face and not just try to put on a fake one to make sure that everybody just thinks that I'm happy. You guys can actually bring a lot of the genuine happiness out of me, and we do that with the Warning and the Warning Army. It's an unbelievable thing. I'm so appreciative that you guys watch any of these videos of me talking about the Warning, because I know there's a million people for you guys to choose from. It is such an easy band to just kind of like jump on the rabbit hole because you guys are such a rabid fan base. But thank you guys so much for being here with me and supportive of me on this channel. Time to tie the depression to the concert. I was trained in the military to be very aware of my surroundings and a lot of little things that people do not know what to look for, and a lot of just little subtle things to keep yourself basically on edge all the time if you know what you're looking for. So a lot of times when people kind of know better, they're like, how the hell do you go to concerts? Isn't that the worst thing for somebody with PTSD? In some cases, it is very uncomfortable. And when I came back from Iraq, I couldn't go to concerts for a long time because I just couldn't be around crowds, period. I say all of that to tell you this. When I got to the Warning and the Warning came on stage, like, I was able to like just block out every little bit of training that I had ever gotten. And I was able to actually just focus on what was going on. And I did not let anything distract me from that. Like, I was obviously still aware of my surroundings, making sure that I'm not bumping into people, that I'm not singing straight into somebody's ear or something like that. But I was able to really have that moment where I feel like they just took me to another place in time and we were all lost there together. The absolute favorite thing that I took away from this concert, when I looked around and I just looked at the crowd, and I did it multiple times, there was people in representation of every group of walk of life that you could possibly think of at this show. And that just makes me smile just even thinking about it. It's such a beautiful thing to see. It is what I feel like I've tried to represent on my channel, is that like good music knows no boundaries. And music is something to bring us together. It's not something to tear each other apart. It's not a reason to try to find differences of why we don't get along. It's a reason to find ways that we can get along. So when I look around the crowd and I just see so much love and joy from every age group and every walk of life, it just made me so happy to see that, like, just I felt like nobody felt like they were sticking out like a sore thumb. Nobody felt like they shouldn't have been there, or that people were making them feel like they shouldn't have been there. It was just a great experience through and through overall, and I just cannot wait till they come back down. TWA, you guys are the best. We have got plenty of things to still get into. We got Pepsi Center videos. We got TED Talks to get into. We got interviews. We got behind the scenes. We got all kinds of different things, because I still don't know nearly as much as you guys do about these ladies in this band. And I need to know more, just because I feel like I might have potentially earned a stripe last night by seeing them for myself. Like, I feel like, you know, you can't promote yourself. That's the one thing the military taught me, is somebody else has to promote you. So I'm not saying that I got promoted, but I feel like I feel like I went to war a little bit last night. I feel like I got shipped off to actually see something a little bit last night. And I feel like my fandom has just gone to another level now, and it is just different. Like, I love this band, but now, like, I love this band, and like it's just different. And like I said, like I totally get you guys now when you guys say like, oh yeah, I saw them 7 times in 2 years. Like, it totally makes sense why you guys hop from one show to the next, because it's like when they go on this run, you just want to get it and soak it up, because there are not acts out there that are giving you these kinds of performances, that are giving you these kinds of environments and experiences. And it is just such an amazing thing to see. I was so glad to be there, and I appreciate you guys for hitting like on the video. And if you haven't joined the Foxtrot family, there is always room for you. And until next time, I appreciate you for watching.